Okay, so I'm just analyze this player's shot right here and compare it with a typical shot. So this player mentioned that he's trying to train with trying to hit with the laces of his boot. So I'm going to play just a quick clip of Harry Kane. Now he's not actually trying to hit with the laces. It's more between the side of the foot and the laces, kind of like the sweet spot. Um, so I know it's very tempting to hit with the laces, but you should do it. It's fun, and but when you're inside or just near the box, generally it's generally okay just to hit with the sweet spots, since you do get enough accuracy, enough power, anyways. Generally, when you're like maybe 30 yards out, you would really use the laces, in my opinion. But anyways, the mechanics are generally the same. So I'll just play Harry Kane quickly. Okay, so let me just reverse that a bit. So a lot of these mechanics are quite, like typical. Harry Kane does have, like I've mentioned, some nuances, like an early turn of the hips, but I'll just point out the main thing. So you notice first as he winds up, you see that leg swung out there. His knees a little back, his foot's really swung back, almost 90 degrees, but you can see it's really far. And also you can see his arm is to the left. So what that does is because he's leaning to the left, because you need to lean to the left so your foot can be angled this way so you can get really good contact with the ball. If you weren't leaning to the left, generally your toes will hit the ground, and you can't really get good contact in the ball. So that's just the general gist of how to do a kick. Now let's have a look how you do it in this clip. So I gather from this clip this player is right-footed. So let's play the clip here, I think. Alright, so let's reverse that a bit. Reverse that a bit. Okay, so one thing first we'll note, you see unlike Harry Kane, you don't really wind your leg back up. So at this point, ideally your thighs should be here, and your like uh, lower part of your leg should be there, and then um, so you can have like that swing. So let's see how you run up to the last step. So generally, the last step should be pretty quick, but in your case, it might be helped to do a hop. So if you hop there, that gives you time, to really swing back and get that momentum before you reach the ground. If you don't, hop enough, your foot's already in the ground and you don't have enough time to swing. So that's just one point. Now again, since you're learning, it's not that essential. You have a really huge backswing, but so maybe just do that a little bit for now, and then later on you can incorporate some more of that backswing before you hit the ball for that extra power. Now, one thing that's a little peculiar is you see, I notice your left arm is not out. Now, not the left arm, generally you want to do this because you want to lean to the left. It's a little hard to see in this angle, but that's just what I gather, because you want to lean. So there's a couple things in this. You want to bring that arm out so you can lean to the left. Your foot's angled to the side, and you want to open that hip up. So let's see. Now I see basically, if you can see, your foot's kind of angled. Your plant foot's kind of angled this way. So generally, players, when they do the proper shot, it's either goes straight or slightly to the left if they turn their hips early and get that contact in the ball. I see kind of like the ball sails to the right, which is a little peculiar. Generally, the furthest right you want to hit it is there. So it's a little hard to see in this angle, but actually in this shot I see it pretty clearly. So let's just play it a bit. Okay, so let's reverse that a bit. Yeah, again, be more ideal if you swing your leg back a bit more, maybe a bit of a hop. And again, okay, so you can really see this. So again, left arm should be there because again, sometimes depending on your momentum of your body or your angle of run up, it's not always going to be like straight up like this way, but I can clearly see it here. So actually, let me see. Yeah, there we go. So it looks like you're not actually hitting it with the laces. It's more like your upper toe and maybe the bottom part of your laces. So if I were to look at you know, from the side, what kind of and the ball is this way. It kind of looks like your foot is doing this. It's like stabbing like under the ball and then hitting upwards. And since you don't have huge power, the ball isn't like sailing over there. It's just enough to like get enough loft to hit up against that wall. So that's one thing to point out. Now, what players really get that power is like when that foot is really angled like 90 degrees and all your power goes directly through the ball. You're not wasting energy by, just like angling it upwards and not having that direct momentum. So that's essentially why you need to like put that left arm lean and then have your foot angled this way. So when you look at it from the side, it is perpendicular to the ball, and you can get that momentum. And another thing you noticed, so your hips do open up a bit. That's why I think your right leg's a bit better. Was looking at your left foot. It seemed like you don't really open your hips as much. So generally, you try to like chip the ball or slice under it as compensation. But generally, when you yeah, so it was a little peculiar because like generally when you close your hips early, the ball should go a bit left. But since you're not hitting it actually with your laces, the middle part of your laces, the ball actually sails to the right. So you see your foot's kind of like pointed this way, so kind of ends up over there. So it kind of looks like you're like almost chipping it, the left side of the ball. And if you look closely, it looks like almost the ball's got like some spin to the right. So yeah, again, generally you try to like next time when you hit the ball, try to have no spin, and hit directly onto the ball. And yeah, if you keep working on, happy to take another look.